Welcome to Unmuted Nation Raw. I'm Alex Haynes, and we're back for another night. So, just like yesterday, Tiff Lanelle will join me a little bit, and we'll get started. If this is your first time at Unmuted Nation, I'm here. I'm actually on the Nation. We are a radio show live Monday through Friday in the BossFM radio app. So if you don't have the app, go to your app store right now, download BossFM radio. And you'll find us, but click shows on Muted Nation. We are live from 1 p.m. At 1 p.m. Eastern every single day, Monday through Friday. And that's how we do it. If you are not able to watch the show live, which is a pandemic, a lot of you are still at home. I don't understand what you're at 1 o'clock. You should have got your wings or whatever lunch. Some of you have started to adopt diets. And while you're at home, you can listen. Do that. And if you missed that, anywhere a podcast is available, you can subscribe to Unmuted Nation. Make sure you do that as well. This is a raw version of that show, and we are doing Unmuted. I'm going to do Unmuted Nation Raw. I said this yesterday, as long as I need to. Sometimes raw conversation is needed, not just amongst us, right? In our relationships, in our families, with our friends. Sometimes you need to get raw with your boss, and some of you have. I don't believe that there are enough raw conversations in our community. When I say our, I'm usually referring to Black, but if you feel like I'm talking to you, then I'm talking to you. There's not enough raw conversations. We're not talking about enough things. And so today we'll kind of rehash what's going on today. If you've missed anything, if you're not following politics, or you're not following the pandemic, you're not following something that's pertinent, something that's important to you, then we'll probably hit it tonight. And also we're going to add some things into the raw segment that you're never going to want to miss. Okay. Since we're raw, I want you to be raw, kick back, grab a drink, if that's your vice, or, an herb or whatever you need to relax, grab that right now. I will join you, and we'll talk through that. Lots of things are going on right now, and I think before I jump into what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to start with something that is really, really near to me, and a problem that I'm seeing, and it is a truth that we don't often want to talk about. We don't want to touch. And we know it to be true. This is not just about the Black family or Black friends, Black relationships, but it's really Black people. We are not talking to each other as much as we should. There are a lot of assumptions made in moments that we shouldn't be making assumptions. And even in times that we can change the trajectory of our lives or the lives of someone else. We see something happening in someone's life and you're just too nervous to speak about it. And I get personal space. I get wanting to watch your words, but I also think that we have a responsibility to each other, especially those of us that live in the United States. There are so many things, and there's this narrative that Black people are playing the victim, and it's not one that we have to buy into. It's not something that I buy into. I don't think that sane people or learned people, I like to say that word, learned, non-ignorant people, I don't think that they are really playing into the fact that we operate or believe ourselves to be victims. But I think that some of us are uneducated about what's happening, and we are in such a crucial time in our lives, and where you get your information is really important. So I want to start tonight talking about the art of conversation and really how important it is to have dialogue with each other. A lot of people, and I'll start young and I'll excuse older, don't communicate verbally. Right now, a lot of us can't, right? Unless you live in Atlanta, then y'all are doing whatever the hell you want. I don't understand. I still don't understand that there's no acknowledgement of the pandemic at all there. But the art of conversation is lost with text messaging or social media, DMs, email. A lot of times we are just more comfortable saying our truth to people behind screens and behind keyboards. But aside from whatever that truth is, basic conversations, basic reminders, encouragement, anything that that's really personal The art it seems to be lost, and I have come to the conclusion that a lot of this miseducation and there's a lot of people that believe that we are in an age of misinformation. That is because we aren't sharing what we know, and so I want to encourage you, and we're going to go through a lot of things tonight. The conversations go from one place to the other, and we hit it. So I want you to give us your feedback. If you're on Twitter, use the hashtag UnmutedNation, or tweet us UnmutedNation. We'll make sure that we get your comment on. This isn't a one-sided conversation, and nothing about Unmuted Nation is, but I want to bring conversation back, right? I think that you should leave. And my hope, anytime you listen to the show or you watch this show, is that you take the conversation that we're having here back to your circles. And I want to, for those of you that haven't done that, or you feel like your conversation is stifled, sometimes you don't know what to say. Hopefully you take some of these conversations from this show tonight back to people that you care about. Because I think when you care about people, you share information that helps them. You don't want people that you love and that you appreciate to be out here on islands. And so many people are lost, not just because we are in a pandemic, but because we have lost a lot of things that keep people grounded, right? So whether maybe it's church for you and you haven't been able to connect with that body, you feel a little disconnected. And maybe it's your family, maybe you live in a remote location and you can't get to them. Stop having the general conversations and start talking about things that are real. I think the more that we go there with each other, and hopefully this is a prompting for that, the more that we will be able to embrace each other. So that said, I can get long-winded, but we're going to move on from that and kind of jump into some of the first things, and let's get the pandemic conversation out of the way. Tiff Lanelle, again from yesterday, Tiff Talks here on BossFM, will be joining me. But if you have not been following along, maybe you are, and pandemic fatigue is a real thing, right? It's a real thing. People are sick of this pandemic. Some of you just want it to be over. And going back to what I was just saying, your conversation could be instrumental in that. The people around you that still don't believe it, or maybe they have just kind of dismissed it, they're not taking it seriously. As the numbers begin to rise, and I am not your local cable news network. I mean, your local news network, your cable news network. I'm not going to be here with a banner up giving you the numbers and things like that. That's information that you can get, but your choice to believe it is totally your choice. I think what we know is that simple things that we can do to stop the spread. So if you are participating, in these house parties, or you find yourself, and I'm not knocking celebration, right? I'm not knocking enjoying life or enjoying what you do, but I think wisdom is wise. I have a good friend that always used to say that, and you should use wisdom in these times. I think a lot of people have a lot of anxiety around the idea that there's this massive vaccine that's going to come and save us all. We haven't seen it. Well, there's not a lot of confidence in the government right now, and there is not a lot of confidence that the vaccine that the United States comes up with, or that the world comes up with, is going to work. Tiff shared with us yesterday that typically the way that vaccines work, they're made with what they have available. And so we know that viruses mutate. And so as they continue to mutate and they continue to change, it may not be spot on. To that point, we know that two pharmaceutical companies that have had active vaccine trials going have paused those trials. AstraZeneca has been on pause for over a month now, and Johnson & Johnson just recently paused their vaccine. This is important, and I'm going to try to give you an angle that you can't get in local news, right? Because there's so much shock value. People are so quick to say, they're never going to get it right, or that shit is not going to work. You know how people are. But I offer this perspective. If they are stopping the trials, that means that they found something that they don't think is going to work. And this is not just one company that has stopped the trial. More than one company has actually paused the trial because they found unknown illness in people that take it. And you're probably hearing that like, who in the hell would volunteer for that? I don't know. I don't know who those people are. I'm not one of those people. You're probably not one of those people, but it is true that people are participating in those trials, and those 2 trials have been paused. Now there is a remediation called a Regeneron, and there's another piece. I don't know if I have the actual name of the substance, but there is a remedy, or a I don't even have the right word. I just had it in front of me. Therapeutic drug that's used, that has also been pulled today. That's important because your president, Donald Trump, was touting the success of this therapeutic as the cure. He touted last week that he was going to send the military out with this therapeutic to heal the land, and that everybody should get a part of that antibody cocktail Trump that he took. So here's some information on it. Regeneron has been paused by the creator due to complications. When we say complications, that simply means that there is illness in people that they can't identify. They don't know what this illness is. They don't know where it came from. And nobody wants to be a part of that. Going back to what I was just saying, one of the reasons that you don't want to be afflicted by a disease that nobody knows how it's going to act in you is because we still don't know how to treat it. So I'm almost begging you, right? Steer clear. Try your best not to be involved in situations that you're going to be susceptible to this virus, because it is spreading like wildfire. It's off the charts, the numbers that are growing once again. And as schools and businesses reopen, we're finding that people are becoming afflicted. And all of the information that we knew, or that we thought at the beginning, let me take you back, right? When all of this started in March, Black people, probably me included, were like, Black people can't get it. It's not a Black people disease. And we literally thought this ignorantly because we didn't know any information. At this point, thousands of Black people have died. Millions of people are dead from this. In perspective, about 3,000 on average people died in New York City on 9/11. We are experiencing 9/11s every single day. So take it seriously. It's really, really crazy. And that's that on the virus. We're going to jump into some more news. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't seen it. There was a story that we covered on Unmuted Nation months ago about a Black man that was escorted while he was paraded through a city by police officers riding a horse, and they were dragging him by rope. If you don't remember the story, this is some Unmuted Justice. We're going to take a look and dive right into this.
Police in Galveston, Texas are changing their policy after mounted officers were seen using a rope to lead a handcuffed man through the streets. The video and a photo posted on Facebook triggered an uproar in the community, with many calling it inhumane. The suspect's sister says that he is mentally ill and homeless. Police arrested him for trespassing. The department says the officers should have waited for a patrol car. The chief says while this is the best practice in some scenarios, the department will no longer use this technique to transport anyone.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our Eyewitness News YouTube channel.
Okay, Mark. Don't know Mark. But so if you missed this story, this is what happened. They accosted this man that they assumed was committing a crime in Galveston, Texas. They then put a rope around his neck and proceeded to parade him through the town square. Like, think about that. Think about you out minding your business. A cop, when we see cops in all types of situations and riding different contraptions, right? They're on bicycles, they're in little smart cars in some cities, they're in police cars, cruisers, whatever. These cops were on horses, and they thought it okay to take a rope and put it around the neck of a Black man. So you could be anybody. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, where you grew up, how you understand the law to work. In no situation has this ever been okay. In no situation is this okay at all. He's now asking for $1 million from the city. Is that enough? If a rope was put around your neck and you were paraded through a town square by police officers, first of all, the precedent that it sets, that the precedent that is used here, the insinuation that this is okay, that these are the methods that they had available to them at the moment. In no way, shape, or form is this okay. Should this ever happen? When questioned, the police officer said they definitely used bad judgment, poor judgment was their word specifically, and they were remorseful. Question of the day: do you think $1 million is enough? If you had a relative that had a rope placed around their neck by police officers and they were paraded through a town, through a city, I don't give a damn if they were paraded down the street. You know, there's just nothing to me that justifies this at all. It's a troubling story. It's troubling as I think about it. And let's just talk about the history of Black people in ropes, right? We kind of went through the issue with Bubba Wallace, and they were calling it the NASCAR hoax when a noose or a rope was found in his garage. Bubba Wallace, one of the only Black NASCAR drivers, he did not put the rope there. He did not find the rope. The rope was found, but that soiled history of ropes and Black people and this country, what it insinuates, what Alabama has a full tributes and memorials and centers where you can go to these lynching memorials and find the names of people that were lynched by not just police officers, but white vigilantes in this country. So for that to happen in the year 2020, I think $1 million is not enough. I don't think I'm comfortable with $1 million. I don't know that there's a dollar amount that I can attach to being walked down the street by police officers with the rope around my neck. It doesn't sit well with me. I don't think that the trauma that this man is experiencing, I think is worth much more than $1 million. But I think that says a lot about where we are today. I think as we kind of understand and we seek to understand the nuance of or what we assume to be so much growth and so much advancement and so much we hear all the time. You hear it in your circles. I hear it online. You see it in the chatter. Every time race is brought up, every time a Black man or a Black woman, the life is taken from by the hands of a police officer when they're unarmed, and we start talking about race, that entire victim thing that I talked about at the beginning comes back up. Black people are playing the victim. Here we see in plain sight, these cops thought it was okay to put a rope around, like a rope, and walk this man like a dog through the town in 2020. And we do the most because we're looking for some semblance of equality. Think about your boss if it's a white man or a white woman for that factor. Imagine them being walked down. Imagine it. Pause right now. Imagine it. Drink if that helps you imagine it. Them being walked down a city street with a rope around their neck. I have to breathe on that one because as we go to the next story, this thing about ropes continues. So you may not have heard this story because there's a lot going on. You know, we're all focused on the election and the pandemic and this judge. And you know, you may not have even heard the story about the rope. Yet another, and this is now the 5th time. I've been doing Unmuted Nation since March. This is now the 5th time that I have to report that a Black man was found hanging from a tree. Okay? Navon Baker was found hanging from a tree in Orlando. Orlando police quickly ruled his death as suicide, but we learned his hands were tied, teeth were missing, and his face was bruised. Attorney Ben Crump, civil rights attorney, very well known in this country, is demanding answers. Tiff Lanelle is going to join us. She's here from Tiff Talks. And Tiff, I know I texted you about this story last night. I know you didn't get a chance to look at it. I know that you were like, not right now. I don't want to do it. Bring me back, because Tiff, I want to look at you when I say this, because we say this to each other often.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to, and I just went through the soiled history of ropes.
Right.
And Black people in this country. Right. When it comes to,
which, by the way, no, $1 million is not enough. That's not enough.
I don't think a number in the millions is enough.
I don't either. The therapy that, first of all, you're paying for my therapy for the rest of my days, and for the therapy of those around me.
And my children, and my children's children.
Yes, because
the moment they hear that you paraded me through a town with a rope around my neck.
That's it. Secondhand trauma is real. So you're not only paying for therapy for me, you're paying for the therapy of my children, my children's children, and all of my family members around me. So no, $1 million is not enough for you putting a rope around my neck and parading me at the back of a horse down the street. No. Mm-mm. Period.
So, secondly, I want to say, people commit suicide. We know that that is a thing, that's a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
Black people do not hang themselves from trees.
No.
Okay? And that's for Black people watching. You know this already. It's not a question. It's not an afterthought. We do not hang ourselves from trees, simply because of the history of the traumatic experience that we live with on a daily basis. Black people do not hang themselves from trees. Do Black people hang themselves? Sure.
But not from a tree.
This case specifically already ruled a homicide, yet his hands were tied and his teeth were knocked out.
Wait, it was ruled a homicide or a suicide?
I'm sorry, a suicide. I said it with passion. Suicide, already ruled a suicide.
And you said his hands were bound?
His hands were tied and his teeth were knocked out. So if his hands were tied, how did he hang himself?
How did he hang himself? And why were his teeth knocked out? What city was this in?
Orlando.
Florida?
Granted, the other, like I said, this is the 5th time that I've now had to cover this on this show. The other 5 from trees.
Right. And to my knowledge, none of them have been ruled homicide.
They were all ruled suicide. And the initial ones were in California,
right,
about 40 miles apart from each other.
Which was suspicious in and of itself. And again, to my knowledge, to the best of my recollection, family members in both of those situations were very clear that neither one of those individuals could have possibly committed suicide.
Nor had any mental issues, mental anguish, mental trauma at the time.
Right. So
now, I haven't been to a police academy. I haven't been to detective school. I have been to the school of New York Undercover, Law and Order, SVU, at days, Chicago PD. So I know a little bit about the law.
Don't forget the hospital shows. We've also had residencies at Grey's Anatomy. I don't even remember the name of the hospital and the resident, but we've had quite a few residency.
Well, I'm just talking police shows, but if we really want to go further, when it comes to me understanding and handling things, I went to the school of scandal and also how to get away with murder. And so I will say in this case, somebody has gotten away with murder, or some bodies have gotten away with murder repeatedly. Yeah. And it's not okay. So why are we bringing this to you? It's important that you know that this is happening.
Right.
Because these are the types of stories that get swept under the rug. Again, I say to you, Black people do not hang themselves from trees.
Right. Especially not with hands bound and teeth knocked out. 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4.
We just ain't gonna do it.
So someone's got to explain that to me.
What you saw is the information that we have. That's all I know. If you have information on this case, Attorney Ben Crump would like to hear from you. Don't.
I didn't say a word.
They knew exactly when to drop me. All right, we're gonna switch gears once again. If you know people that are confused about the election, what's going on, or have been standing in early voting lines for too long, share this right now. If you're listening on the radio, tell somebody to tune in right now. This next segment is for you. Let's talk election 2020.
I'm ready.
Okay. First, I want to talk about Virginia.
I just don't understand. I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
I don't understand how a cable accidentally got cut on the last day of voter registration.
I understand that perfectly because accidents happen. I want to know why you were performing maintenance on the last day of voting registration in your city that notoriously has been known for also suppressing vote, in your state that has also been known for suppressing votes.
You also have one job. So I'm really trying to figure out how in that one job you missed a cable. Now, I'm sure that these cables are not camouflage. They're probably orange or yellow, maybe white, maybe even black, which, let's say it's in grass, will still show up. It's not blending in. So how did you accidentally cut the cable? That doesn't seem, again, 2 plus 2 is not making 4, and I would like. So did they extend voter registration by a day?
There are calls for it. So for those of you that missed this, this is what's going on. An accidentally severed fiber optic cable shut down Virginia's online voter registration system for several hours today. The last day to register before the November general election. Today, that happened today. The Virginia Department of Elections said in a statement on Twitter that a fiber cut affected connectivity for multiple agencies, including the department's citizen portal and registrar's offices. The cable was inadvertently cut during a Chesterfield County roadside utilities project, according to the state's Information Technology Agency. So, what sucks about this and the interpretation that I can offer as somebody that is a certified technical architect, I want to talk about this for a second. Let me get through this and then we'll go there. Voting advocates said the accident couldn't have come at a worse time and lambasted state officials for their technological failure. The day of the deadline is when many Virginians decide to register, particularly after being reminded on social media and in the news, or if you've been watching or listening to Unmuted Nation, all we've been talking about is getting registered to vote. The Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law and the Advancement Project are planning to file a lawsuit arguing that the state's voter registration deadline should be extended for 48 hours, according to committee spokesperson Ian Weiner. Ian Weiner. U.S. Reps Don Bayer, Jerry Connolly, and Jennifer Wexton said in a statement that they hope the courts will swiftly grant such an extension and account for the time it will take to inform the public of the new deadline, which I think that's more than 48 hours. But let's go back to a fiber cable. One fiber cable that you say was running multiple agencies.
Well,
so let's just go back there and let me just play non-devil's advocate for somebody that has installed infrastructure in multiple government agencies, multinational corporations, Fortune 100, 500, S&P 5, like all up and down it, okay? Understanding the nuance. There is no way in hell. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I sent you an article 2 weeks ago and we learned how the government was running in 2008. And
is that posted on Unmuted Nation?
No, it's not. But let me not sidebar there and let's say this. There is redundancy is a word that's used often in technical circles. And that is because The internet can't go down. You people know that. Imagine if your internet went down right now. As much as you love watching this show, you'd be like, what the hell? Damn. And you're mad at your cable company. You know what happens when your internet goes down? It comes back up quicker than it would 10 years ago because there is this thing called redundancy.
That's it.
There's not just one line. Yeah, there may be one line running to your house, but your house is not getting a direct connection from your central office or from wherever that connection is. There are multiple trunks of information lines, fiber optic lines going into a central location that's then routed to your house, to your home. So when we talk about a government agency that operates multiple government entities, that people in the state rely on, from human resources to driver's license. We don't know what the agencies were. They were very ambiguous with it. But you're going to tell me that some rogue fiber optic cable out in Chesterfield, wherever, was the cause of a multi-agency outage? This
is ghetto.
This is the message.
This is ghetto. If you would like to apply for voter registration now, you may fill out and print the paper application here. If you would like to apply to vote by mail now, you may fill out and print the paper application here. But what? So I'm supposed to print it.
So let's just talk about
to the agency that's down. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Let's talk about why people aren't doing that, because people don't have printers, right?
Right. So let's sidebar.
People don't want to stand in line for more than 30 minutes.
I didn't know.
We'll get to that in a minute, but
I didn't know this was a thing that people didn't have printers. I went to a UPS store and 3 people in line in front of me said, I just need to print this. I was like, y'all really be out here without printers?
I'm telling you, it's not a thing. And I know that you have an inner 65-year-old woman inside of you, but there's no need, right? PDFs, like there are places that say, paper ticket required. When you show it on your phone, they still gonna let you in. Because somebody like me is going to be like, you got to be kidding me. I paid for it. I'm getting in.
I'm getting in, period. You're right. Now, I have a printer for other.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is, again, we talked about yesterday, in-your-face voter suppression. Yes. This is what the shit looks like.
Yes. Because what you are really saying is that you want someone to leave work, because they're probably at work. You want them to leave work in the middle of the day to go stand in a line at a UPS, a FedEx, Kinko's, or wherever, a Staples, wherever, and they're going to stand in line. That's just period. They're going to stand in line because people is out doing things, especially if they go at lunchtime when everybody else go out to do all the things. So you want them to go out, go to a store, stand in line to have this paper application printed, and then come to your office that is down due to a network outage, and then probably stand in line there, and the deadline was today? How'd that work? That, again, 2 + 2 is not making 4. No. Extend the deadline.
I actually hate it. Extend the damn deadline. Okay,
it really
and stop feeding people. And I understand people understand bullshit. They believe bullshit because they don't know any better.
Yeah, because why can't we just give 24 hours? Because it's going to take at least 24 hours.
One day I can't. We can't do it here, but one day, the president has gone back. It's like he reverted to the year 2015 and woke up, after being on his drugs or whatever he's taking, and started talking about locking up Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. And then people are like, damn, he's still talking about the emails. Well, in 2016, I remember I was doing a different show at the time. I read some of Hillary's emails on air because WikiLeaks had them. So I wanted to know what all the hoopla was about. Recently, I've discovered that it's more complicated than we thought. Now, I shared it with Tiff. We can't do it here, but we'll do something special like on Instagram, and we'll spend time. You need to light up for us to read this, because some of you work in places that have more security and more technology than the federal government. And if you understood how her emails were working then, you'd be appalled. But that's neither here nor there. That's what's happening in Virginia. If you were affected by that, you were trying to vote today, or maybe you need to lie and say you were trying to vote today. Let's get this fixed. I want to show you this clip, Tiff, and we're not going to play it, all of it. But do you remember who the liars were in 2016? The people that said they weren't voting for Donald Trump and did?
The white women.
Why do you remember who it was?
Because I've been living with 4 years of their lives.
They told major lies, right? They were like, "Oh, we did," but we had the proof after, and like
we literally had the data.
White women are solely the reason that Donald Trump is president.
Absolutely, they had the highest percentage of votes for Trump. I'm just not going to vote for him because he grabs women by the expletive, and I just can't vote for him.
And they showed up at a women's march.
1% or something.
They showed up at a women's march the day he was the day of his inauguration, after voting for him. That's neither here nor there. There are some that are remorseful. I saw this clip this morning. I want to share with you. I think it's June and Julie, whatever old white women are named. They are very remorseful about it. Let's play this clip and we'll talk about them in just a moment.
I'm probably a good example of someone who's gone through a lot of change in 4 years.
Holly Geithner, a registered Republican, is a working parent of 2 kids living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She voted for Donald Trump in 2016, and she wasn't alone. 50% of white women in Pennsylvania did the same, according to exit polls.
What do you feel today about your vote 4 years ago?
I can tell you how I felt 4 years ago. Shame.
Do you regret your vote?
Where we are today, yes, I do. I don't think this is the great again that everyone thought it was going to be.
So Holly is voting for Joe Biden, and so is Nin Bell.
What drew you to Donald Trump? Why did you vote for Donald Trump, Nin?
For his celebrity, 100%.
It was the brand?
It was.
The image?
Absolutely. Successful, funny. Like, he was funny. I loved his show, The Celebrity Apprentice. Never missed it.
Was there a moment when you decided, I cannot support him anymore?
It was almost instantly.
It's not just outside the cities where suburban women are questioning their support for Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. It's even out here in Westmoreland County, rural Pennsylvania, considered Trump country. We're about to meet 2 of them.
She's older. I'm older.
Oh, you're definitely sisters.
Joan Smeltzer and Julie Brady are registered Democrats, and both voted for Trump in 2016.
I feel like I've been duped. I got it wrong, and it hurts my heart. I mean, it truly hurts my heart because the things that I saw I didn't take seriously enough.
Throughout the campaign, he was making sexist, misogynistic remarks. And then there was the Access Hollywood tape. How did you guys process and digest that, being out there and voting for him?
It was not easy. I look at myself and I think, how could I do that?
I feel like I did a disservice to women by voting for this guy.
Was there a moment in the last 4 years when you said, I can't do this again?
The COVID pandemic, the way he handled it, that was the absolute last straw for me. He didn't create.
I have seen it already, so I knew what to expect. I'm still baffled by the whole.
The ignorance is just blissful.
Is it ignorant, or was it I guess willful ignorance?
Willful ignorance.
Willful.
So many things. I have grievances. For one, or as my mother would say, point number A. You instantly felt bad for voting for him after you voted for him. Why didn't you keep that same energy before you voted for him? And I got a real grievance with the ones who are registered Democrat and still voted for him.
Please and thank you. And you sat up here and y'all sat up here and well, when did you know you made the wrong decision? Immediately.
That's stupid. And for the one in that interview who said that she didn't realize she made the wrong decision until COVID, what? It took over 200,000 people dying before you said, I may have effed up. That may not have been.
Ain't this about it, bitch?
I may have ticked the wrong name on that ballot. Never mind the families being separated at the borders. Never mind the children dying. Never mind, all the things happening with the families. Never mind the LGBTQ rights being stripped. Never mind what he's doing to the military. Never mind he's trying to get rid of healthcare. Never mind that he's got worse turnover in his administration than a call center.
Never mind, there's still 180 plus positions in his administration that have not been filled. Like 180 people still have never done the job they were supposed to do in this administration. Over 180 people.
But he's trying to fill one in his last 20 days in office that he doesn't have a right to fill.
I heard an interesting statistic today about that, and we're going to talk about the judge a little bit. I'm not going to give it that much gas because I'm really frustrated. And when I realized what my grievance is with this woman, and I'm going to explain that to you and those of you that are Black that grew up in white suburbia, and I say this all the time, I grew up in a Black-ass city and a white-ass suburb, okay? Very, very wide, very wide. And I may put my accent on for that when we tell that story.
Okay.
But the last time that we were this close to an election, 23 days, was when Abraham Lincoln was president. And he opted not to replace the seat on the Supreme Court. Abraham Lincoln was the president in 1860 something.
Well, for their faults, and there are a plethora of them. Let's be clear, all of those presidents, including the founding fathers of this country, we all know they wasn't shit. That's beside the point. But one of the senators yesterday said, this Constitution that we abide by, that's been in play for over 200 years. So you don't hear the problem in that statement? It's been in play for over 200 years. When they wrote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, it was supposed to be a starting document. It was
we was shackled. So it didn't give a damn about me when it was written.
Not at all. And
it actually identified me as property.
It still does not. Let's be clear. Because even the 13th Amendment has that, and I talk about that clause all the time.
Yeah,
except for
don't piss me off. But let's not do that.
Back to that clip. How are you just now getting to the point? Or how did you not get to the point until after you voted for this man to think, maybe I shouldn't have voted for somebody who is a reality TV star, or maybe I should look into.
Did you not hear her say that's why she voted for him?
I heard. Again, ignorance is blissful. But at what point do you all say, okay, this man is running on the platform of being an amazing businessman. Let me look into his businesses. Because if you had done even that, if you had done just that little bit of research in 2016 about this man who was running on the platform of this country has had politicians, maybe we need a businessman, then you would have seen this plethora of bankruptcies, and you would have seen the plethora of documentaries that came out about the fact that he only got more loans because the banks were trying to get him more loans to pay off the loans that he already had. He was broke. He's flat broke, which, to be clear, is probably how he got away with only paying $750. He ain't got no money. I got more money in my checking account than he does. So at what point do we take responsibility for getting and seeking the information that we need to make a logical, educated decision about who we are voting into these offices and into these positions of power? We are in a terrible state and space as a country. Terrible. Not just because the whole world is literally laughing at us.
I would like to say this for those of you that are watching and like, bro, he's successful. I don't give a damn what you say. Bankruptcy don't break nobody. I know I yell about like all of that. He has a lot of Like Trump doesn't own a lot of, like he likes to put his name on things, right? So part of the reason that you don't have your another stimulus check is because he wants his name on it. And Nancy Pelosi is not really here for that. I've never been this petty about him because I really don't give a damn about Donald Trump at all. I don't. And in America, that is my free right? I think I read it. I'm going to send this to you, Tiff. Make sure I don't forget about authoritarianism. And it's not, we're in a bad way. But I want to talk about the number of businesses. I'm going to name them all. That Donald Trump once had, that he has no more, right? And so if people had just looked into these businesses, many of them that you are aware of, but a lot of them, these specific businesses are actually defunct. Now, watch when I say certain words. You're going to be like, didn't you already say that? But no, I'm saying another word in place of that. Okay, let's hit the list. I wish I had given it to the team, so you're not going to see it on the screen. So follow along with me. Trump Financial, defunct. Trump Sales and Leasing, residential sales. That must have been the one that they wrote C on the applications from Black people for color. Defunct. Trump International Realty, residential and commercial real estate brokerage firm, defunct. The Trump Entrepreneur Initiative, formerly called Trump University, a for-profit education company, defunct. Trump Restaurants, located in Trump Tower and consisting of Trump Buffet, Trump Catering, Trump Ice Cream Parlor, and Trump Bar, defunct. GoTrump.com. It was supposed to be Google. I really choked there. Defunct. Select by Trump line of coffee drinks, defunct. Trump Drinks, an energy drink for the Israeli and Palestinian markets, defunct. Donald J. Trump Signature Collection, a line of menswear, so drawers, men's accessories, and watches, defunct. Donald Trump, the fragrance. Can you imagine?
What does that smell like? Big Macs and ass? What in the world would that smell like?
Donald Trump, the fragrance, defunct. Success by Donald Trump. Another fragrance launched by the Trump Organization and the 5-star fragrance company, released in March 2012, defunct. Trump Ice.
Fragrance smell like? It had to smell like Reese and Cheetos. Had to. Like, you know how when you see our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama, you say, I know she smells like cocoa butter and motions. I know she does. That fragrance had to smell.
It had to be foul.
Special sauce, Cheetos, and ass.
It had to be foul, like very foul. I know it was just nasty.
It had like, ugh.
I'm only halfway through this list.
What?
Trump Ice, a line of bottled water, defunct. The former Trump magazine. How do you go out of business selling water?
It's water. How do you go out of business?
I'm dead ass. How do you go out of business selling water?
Because we can't seem to keep
the former Trump magazine, probably displaced by OO. Trump Golf, defunct. Trump Chocolate, defunct. Trump Home Furnishings, defunct. Trump Productions, a television production company, defunct. Trump Institute, aka Trump University, reincarnated, defunct. Trump the Game, a 1989 board game that was also re-released in 2004 with The Apprentice. Donald Trump's Real Estate Tycoon.
What was the game of?
It was like Clue.
What did you?
It was a board. It was a.
Keep going.
Again, why was your board game go out of?
Nope.
Donald Trump's Real Estate Tycoon, a business simulation game, defunct. Trump.
No, real estate. How do you make a game off of somebody who doesn't own what you're making a game off of? He doesn't own anything.
Who wants a Trump video game?
Does the toupee
Who
fall?
was, no, but who was the market for that?
June and Julie. Nick.
No, they were registered Democrats.
But apparently they like his celebrity. So
I'm almost done. Trump books, defunct. Trump model management, defunct.
that's how he met his wife?
Trump Realty, defunct. The Trump shuttle.
Did you say shuttle? As in a bus? Like shuttle you to and from?
It was an airline.
What?
Trump Shuttle Inc. was an airline owned by Donald Trump from 1989 to 1992. The landing rights and some of the physical assets necessary to operate the shuttle flights were originally part of Eastern Airlines and known as the Eastern Airlines Shuttle. Like I said, he put his name on it. I would never get in there in a flying device, a flying aircraft owned and operated by Donald Trump. I think not. Trump mortgage, defunct. Trump vodka, defunct. Trump steakhouse, defunct.
Now I'm surprised at that one because I feel like Greece is his business.
And Trump steaks. He also sold. He put his name on a brand of Omaha steaks and defunct.
That is such a disrespectful word.
He made a lot of his money because he would charge $450,000 per speech when he went to speak places. Can you imagine?
Wait.
Paying him
Hold on. Go back.
Can you imagine paying him $450,000 to hear what we hear every damn day? I wish we had the tweets from yesterday because remember, New York is going to hell. Right. That's a man that they paid $450,000 to speak.
And Illinois is not going anywhere. So, yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I don't know what there is to get. I am hella confused.
I mean, apparently we just need to make our names great again. And then...
You feel like we could do all of those things?
We could do all of those things. We just have to make our names great. And then we too can be followers in this country.
We've broken my cardinal rule, but I'm okay with it today.
We're black, so that's not gonna work.
It doesn't work, not here. But we've broken my cardinal rule. You know, since 2015, I have 10 minutes of Trump, and that's it. I have crossed that line. But that shit was funny, actually, to go through the list of all the things that have. But you know what? Failures. Let me pull Alex back into this. Failures failures are a testament to your success, right?
Who are we referencing?
Hard workers.
So not Trump.
I'm moving on. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, has spoken out. This isn't going fast enough.
I just had to go ahead and finish that off.
He's spoken out and said, if you remember the clown, the Attorney General of Kentucky, what is it, Daniel Marcus?
Daniel Cameron.
Oh, I was close. I really didn't care what his name was. He's a clown. Said that there were no charges brought against the police officers in the murder of Breonna Taylor. He said repeatedly at the conference press conference he gave after the grand jury's indictment was given for a shot that went into the neighbor's home and not hers, that the police had identified themselves. Now, if you don't know much about this Breonna Taylor story, they canvassed witnesses in the area. Nobody heard the police identify themselves. This was a no-knock warrant that they executed in her house in a stand your ground state where she had the total right to defend herself and her boyfriend had his gun and they did not know who was at the door in the middle of the night. They really, they got one neighbor after pressing him thrice to change his story and say that the police did in fact announce themselves. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, has doubled down on previous claims that the pair didn't hear police identify themselves the evening they raided her apartment. In his first sit down with CBS, the people over at Gayle King's show. It's going to air in its entirety, so we don't have it because it's going to air for the first time tomorrow. He's going to sit down with CBS this morning and say that he's 1,000,000% sure that authorities failed to announce who they were as they carried out the botched March 13th raid. In response, the startled young man says he fired his gun once after police used a battering ram to bust through Taylor's door as part of a no-knock warrant that was approved in a narcotics investigation. I wanted you to know that he did not only double down and say that he's damn sure, but he said he's 1,000,000% sure that they did not identify themselves.
He said what he said.
I personally feel like we should all still be raising hell.
Absolutely. I also feel like we need to protect him at all costs because, it's quite a few witnesses who disappear after giving their testimony in situations like this.
They will take you out.
They will take you out. So I want to, if you are around him, near him, please protect him at all costs. If you got a cash app or whatever, if we can help in any way, let us know. Put that man in a bubble.
Okay. So we're going to wrap with some joy. So again, if you just got here, you've missed a lot. So your homework is to rewatch this episode or listen tomorrow. Or if you're listening right now on BossFM Talk, make sure you check out Raw at 8 p.m. Within the BossFM app. But a few things that I want to talk about. If you're listening on the radio, you're going to miss this. First, Trump is doing these rallies. He said he's going to be doing 3 rallies a day.
What?
At a rally last night, he busted a move. I'm going to show you.
Now, wait a minute. I know what busted move means in our culture.
I'm going to show you the clip.
Oh, the disease, we didn't know it. Now we know it. It affects elderly people with heart problems and other problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. That's it. In some states, thousands of people, nobody young, below the age of 18, like nobody. They have a strong immune system. Who knows?
You know what? That ain't it. We may not have the Bust a Move clip. If we can find it before we wrap, I will play it for you. There's 2 versions.
But can we address that since we played?
Sure.
That's dumb as hell. And bull.
Well, he said that before he got it. That was an old clip. So he said that before he got it. And
doesn't change the fact that
virtually nobody has gotten it, right? Virtually nobody has gotten it. Whatever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch gears for a second. Okay, so I was wrong. Let me let that clip play. I moved too fast. Let's roll that again.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
And let's hit it.
Oh, the disease, we didn't know it. Now we know it. It affects elderly people with heart problems and other problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. That's it. In some states, thousands of people, nobody young, below the age of 18, like nobody. They have a strong immune system. Who knows? You take your hat off to the young because they have a hell of an immune system. But it affects virtually nobody. It's an amazing thing. By the way, open your schools. Everybody open your schools. Sleepy Joe Biden wants to impose a $4 trillion...
All right, we're pivoting once again because it was not in that clip. Okay, so we will move on, and if we have it before we wrap, that's fine. I want to talk about another clip that I sent you today. And in this, we're going to talk about what's true. All right. There's something about blackness, right? There's something about blackness that I think is amazing. It just hit you, and now you know where I'm going with this. I love everything about blackness, right? I love Black people. Black elders they bring me joy.
Absolutely.
And there is a certain waddle that exists in the Black community, okay? And Black women, and actually some Black men of a certain stature and size, also adopt the same waddle. But it comes with age. It's something that, it's a viral video that has brought me a lot of joy since Saturday. Nothing has been more joyous. We don't have all of them. I know I sent you a litany of them.
It was.
But we have the original clip. We're going to roll this clip, and I'm telling you, when we come back, we'll talk about, you're instantly going to picture somebody that you know. I'm sorry. It's the way that he comes around the corner, and it's the movement. It's the head.
He's making this face.
It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Oh no!
He went on.
3 people have walked like that.
You said 3?
At least I have seen at least 3 in my adult years of people who walk like that. I've been to libraries. I've been on multiple college campuses in a registrar's office.
So let's go there, right? So he did one, and the angle started as like with him waddling into the screen. Financial aid down, right? It's the slow getting up and the waddle to the file.
Hold on, baby. Let me get that for you. Okay, ma'am. That's fine. I'll wait.
And first of all, like I told you, I believe that by this point in time, these women are carrying the burdens, their own burdens, the burdens of their family, their nephews, their grandson, Daquan, their son-in-law, their daughter. They're carrying the burdens of the whole business because everybody wants something from Miss Beverly or Miss Shirley.
And don't know that job, but you can get what you need from Miss Beverly. She gonna get you right now.
She knows where it is.
She does.
Absolutely. It may take her some time to get there, but
she's gonna give you grace because she knows she moves slow. So she's gonna give you grace. And she takes her sweet time, and she gonna tell that person behind you who's white.
Can we just roll it one more time? We have to see that one more time because the accuracy, right? It's not just financial aid; it's former supervisors. Yes. It is like and then you're thinking about that person in your family. You don't want to say it, right? You don't want to say it because it's gonna get back to them. But you know who you are, and y'all are watching that, and you're like, hey, his young ass trying me. It's you know what it is? It's like she's putting on a turn signal to get around that curve and the head. Like that's also a really endearing walk, right? But I instantly feel comfortable. I feel comfortable.
It's missing the sound effects because there's a certain grunt that goes with it.
If we had the other videos, they were in there.
It's the grunt for me. If I hear that grunt, I know I'm going to be taken care of on this day, on this land. I'm going to get what I need from Miss Beverly in the financial. She absolutely knows where the secret money is. So I'm going to sit there and wait for her to
listen. And the names are what they are, okay? Exactly. Beverly, Janice, Gladys, Shirley. All of those require a miss. Sharon seems to be the one that's still young, and she's like, don't call me miss. It's just Sharon, baby. Well, no, I'm going to call you miss because you're too old for me. Too old for me to not say it, okay?
And I don't need my mama coming around the corner.
Miss Sharon.
No. But if you see a waddle like that, if you are at a food place, trust you about to get a good biscuit. If you are in the financial aid office, you about to get the secret money. If you are in a registrar's office, they're going to rearrange your classes in the way that they need to be handled. If you are in the library, you're going to get an extension on that deadline.
Not the applesauce, but it's true.
But it's true. They will give you extra applesauce. If you don't have the lactose, they'll give you an extra.
For me, I'm going to take it back. I'm going to go back to college, and Miss Pat was in the... Miss Pat used to be... She used to do the stir fry and the calf, and Miss Pat did not play. She also went the little church I went to. Miss Pat was there. She would be standing there as an usher. But Miss Pat, while she was getting the stir fry ready, she would have her gospel on. You couldn't talk to Miss Pat, especially if you weren't black. Miss Pat was not fooling with nobody. And I don't know, I don't feel like you can be like this. I guess that's what they call black supremacy these days. But Miss Pat would say, "Baby, move. Boy, come on over here and get this plate."
Yeah,
would waddle off just like that.
Yes,
that's just who Miss Pat was. That's who she is.
Yes.
God bless Miss Pat.
And all Miss Pats all around.
All Miss Pats everywhere.
We love you. We are grateful for you. Keep doing your good work.
Everywhere. Okay, so we got the Donald Trump clips. First, let's show him dancing. I don't want you to miss this.
Okay.
We're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the original, and then of course the internet's cut. Roll it one more time because we're choppy, but it's okay.
First of all, if half of the village people were still alive, I would swear that they would.
Are they all gone?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how many of them are still with us.
I don't know what their names are, but
I mean, if they are still amongst the living, one, hallelujah, glory be to God. But two, someone needs to file an injunction tomorrow.
Because that is terrible.
Because that is actual blasphemy. That's number one. Number two, what the hell was that? Number three, young man. Number four, did he have to go get a knee replacement after that? What was Jesus Christ of Nazareth?
And I'm trying really hard not to have any rhythm, but so the internet got a hold of it. This is what happened. We are really raw, but it is what it is. He's definitely toxic. I appreciate the cut. And thank you for all of you that have less. You have nothing to do. Because this is what y'all play all day. And for those of you where you're like, where does all this come from?
Black
Twitter.
Twitter. If you are ever bored, Black Twitter is just.
Well, people are going to ask you how to get to Black Twitter, and there's no way to explain that.
I have people ask me how to get to Black Twitter. I can't help you, okay? I don't know what to tell you other than you just have to kind of follow the right people.
No, that's not it.
Listen, I was trying to help the people out and give them
That's
something.
not it.
I know that, but I was trying to provide.
That's not it. All right.
Okay.
As we really wrap today, I want to talk about the 11-year-old who said F it all. Okay? F it is wrong. He said fuck it.
Me.
He said fuck it.
Me.
No, he literally said, because his life probably flashed before his eyes, he didn't give a damn. Now, I haven't seen this footage, so this is going to be my first time seeing it. We are sharing with you the footage of a black boy. Now, we are going to get serious for a moment because he was arrested after this incident. I don't think he should have been arrested. I don't think he's the one that should be facing any type of time for this at 11 years old. But he did steal a school bus.
Give him a spanking.
I know, but it looked like somebody that stole the school bus.
Wait. The way that bus sped, he was driving that thing like he knew.
And the amount of time it took the Chargers to also come through. Why are y'all slower than a school bus?
I know, but it looked like somebody that stole the school bus.
I'm dead. I'm literally dead.
That boy off. This is dumb.
So he took them on a high-speed chase. Do we know how long he was?
Come get me. Listen, Calgon, take me away. I'm sorry. This is comedy to me.
This is where we are. Folks stealing school buses.
First of all, why was it so many Chargers after him? Like, who did y'all think was on the bus?
Well, here's the thing. Were y'all really trying to catch him? Y'all should have just let him get what he wanted to do is see if he could do it. That's all that was about.
That's
And
it.
clearly he can.
Who was responsible for watching the school buses? Arrest him. You had one job.
School buses are special. I feel like when you have to get on one every day, you watch them up there pressing all these buttons, turning on lights and opening doors.
It's fun.
He's probably like, I just want to see if I can do it.
He's been singing the wheels on the bus go round and round since he was 2. He just wanted to see if the wheels on the bus really
I
went
support this kid. I don't know his name, but I would like him freed.
Immediately.
If I know his name, I'm going to tweet it out. I'm also going to put some money on his books because this is
absolutely
it's inappropriate.
He deserves a Snickers. That poor baby.
In the words of Cynthia Bailey, inappropriate.
So you can, is that it? Are we done? You can get in touch with me on Tiff Lanelle everywhere. Instagram, the Black Twitter, and I think I'm a part of Black Twitter. Instagram, the Black Twitter, and Facebook, the Facebook, Tiff Lanelle. That's it.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. Unmuted Nation Raw continues tomorrow. We are back here, and we're raw. That's that. Unmuted Nation continues on BossFM Talk Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Download the BossFM radio app if you don't have it. Also, grab this podcast. It's important for you to be a part of that and be a part of this community. Tell somebody else about the nation so they can be involved. And we're also going to do some things to get you more involved. I'm rambling at this point because I'm realizing that there's so many things that we were supposed to do that we haven't done. And it's my fault. But we want you involved in this conversation. So like I said at the beginning of tonight's show, take this conversation with you, share the conversation. The things you've seen tonight, share them. We'll put all of it, and that's something we're going to commit to on the Unmuted Nation Facebook page. Links to all of these stories. That's what we can do for you at this point. Remember, today's greater. Believe it, speak it, and live it. You have to make the choice to be great. Your situation is not your destination, so instead make it your motivation. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. right here for Unmuted Nation Raw.